There was a particular day, something told me I must actually get to the office. That was after 2 months of constantly hearing about the program. That thing said that day, today you have to get to Joke Plaza because there is something there for you. And that day I dressed up as usual but on a different direction. I went there, and that was the day I had the exposition and understood this program. And I tell you, I didn't plan to join the program that day, but I joined that day. And as a matter of fact, I cannot just tell you all that has transpired. I cannot begin to list it for you, but things have changed drastically. Then I discovered that, you see, sometimes we are so skeptical about some things. You will see some people doing some things with money. You will feel that that man is spending too much. He's showing off. Have you had the type of money that the man has before you start criticizing? Because I discovered that there's a way your taste change when money gets to your hand. You will now discover that that man that is driving some kind of car out there is not proud. He is actually capable. Now, I discovered that it's not so much of a waste to give yourself a treat sometimes. Because what we were made to believe from the background is that if you go and have this kind of treat that we are having here, you are extravagant, you are wasteful. But sometimes you need to sit down and be served. But you can't do that until money comes. That's the kind of standard of life that you give yourself when you are exposed to the right program. So I am telling you today, and I also want to give a piece of advice. Moma Songokan, I used to say something, that the people that used to boast and say that I knew when that land used to be 50,000 naira. It's now 2.5 million. There's nothing, in fact, it's a foolish kind of boast. But you can boast and say that, okay, I bought that land when it was 50,000 naira. Now it is 2.5 million. Now, if you don't want to tell that same story, that I knew when ECN was 0.431.
That's correct.
And now it is $1,000. You have to take a decision today, because I can assure you, if you don't take that decision, you just take somebody as a reference point. You can take me.
It's me. I'm here.
And just take it, come and check me back after some time. Let me tell you something. This morning I was going through the history of Bitcoin. I followed it from 2008 when it was launched. It was actually launched 2009, but the project was registered 2008. I was following it from 3 cents. What we call 3 cents is not up to 10 naira then. Well, it wasn't up to 10 naira. Who couldn't have afforded something of 10 naira? Even a school girl could have, a school boy. But if you don't have the right information at the right time, you will pay for that information that you don't have. If you know how to be a furniture maker, you don't need to pay. You pay for what you don't know. And you actually profit from something that you know. Now, I watched as the thing was growing. As of 2017, it was less than, at a point, at the beginning of 2017, it was less than $2,000, it was less than $3,000. And I went to check the exchange rate. Please pay attention. I went to check the exchange rate then. It was around 315 naira. And I discovered that to buy a Bitcoin then, early 2017, you would have spent around 700 and something thousand naira. 2017, you would have spent around 700 and something thousand naira to buy one Bitcoin. Then before the end of 2017, the thing skyrocketed, and before you know what, it entered $20,000. Let me tell you something. After some time, in 2018, that was when they had the rough year. It went back to around $5,000 from $20,000. For a foolish and an emotional person, he will say that, oh, OT crash. They called me this year and they told me that when the Bitcoin it crash. They told me. But if you have held it then, let me tell you something, you would have been an easy billionaire. It's not until you get into oil and gas. I am telling you, for you to do as if you have been into oil and gas some years back, get some ECN today. And the best way to get ECN, tell somebody today, make sure you tell somebody today. Somebody that you do not hate, even your enemy, tell him. Because that enemy will start liking, he will start loving you when you change their future to something better. Tell somebody today that earn ECN. Are we getting it? You need to earn ECN, not just buy it. Earn it. How do you earn it? You cannot earn it if you are not in Ioreku. Are we getting it, please? So that very soon, this testimony will not just be a testimony. We will see it, it will be obvious in our lives. Now, if I continue to talk, I will just keep talking. There's a lot that we have seen in this system. But we just have to call as many. I have to hand over this. But it is the best financial advice in the century. Get ECN.